Hey everybody, welcome to the Wild, Creative, and Confident, a video interview series where you can learn from the most inspiring industry leaders on how you can use your passion and creativity to design the life and business of your dreams. I am your host, Sarah Marie Thompson from wildandcreative.com, and today I have a very interesting guest with me, Tracy Neely. Tracy is a transformational success coach and helps female entrepreneurs rediscover why they are incredible, reconnect with their true brilliance, and own it like no one else. She helps women shine brighter than ever that they ever knew was possible. And she believes below the surface, deep down inside, we all have hidden talents and strengths, which are our own brilliance. So welcome, Tracy. I'm so excited to have you.
Hi, Sarah, and hi, everyone. Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here with you.
I'm really happy to have you on here. And I want to just ask you first, you have such an interesting story. There's a video that you have on, I think it's on your website or your Facebook page that I watched. You had something very crazy happen to you in the last little while of your life that really helped you transform into who you are now. Can you just share with us what happened there?
Sure, thank you. So I had always had a dream to live in New York City, and at the time I lived in Chattanooga, and I finally, that dream came true. I moved to New York, but I went back home to visit my mom, and I thought, well, I'll just go get a dental cleaning in Chattanooga. It's probably cheaper than in New York. And the dentist said, let's just do a routine x-ray. And long story short, a black spot appeared on the x-ray, and I was diagnosed with a very rare tumor called ameloblastoma in my jaw. And I didn't know how serious it was because I said, well, I'll go to a doctor when I get back to New York. And I waited like a couple weeks, because life got busy in New York. And I went to see the doctor finally, and he says, you got to go into the hospital tonight. Your tumor is growing. It's going to spread to your brain. It's going to be inoperable. So long story short, it was a lot. I mean, I still get very emotional about it. It was a very painful time, but it was a really healing time because it really led me to do the work that I'm doing now. So just after many surgeries and really working on my mindset, I see that sometimes things are actually a blessing in disguise. You just don't know it at the time.
I mean, what would have happened if you didn't go for a cleaning?
Right. He
Right?
said, yeah. So, yeah, so you just get all these kind of crazy thoughts when people I'm like, I can't go in the hospital. Like, I need to think about that. It's like, what do you need to think about? So, yeah.
Well, I mean, it's always amazing how things like that happen, right? How just, you going for a cleaning, like maybe a routine, or maybe you hadn't gone in a while, right? And you probably were just trying to fit it in. Literally that day, that was a blessing in disguise. It literally changed your life. You didn't expect to get that kind of a cleaning in a sense.
I got a whole cleansing.
I want to know regarding your career that you have decided to go on now. Have you always been a very creative and inspired person? Because the way that you help others and help women seems to be coming from a very inspired place.
It's interesting we use the word creative because when I was little, I just thought I was odd, I was strange, I was a little quirky. The stuff I loved was very different. The things I thought about or talked about were just so different. But I realized I've been this way since, I don't know, that I can remember when I was like 4 years old in my bed, just cracking myself up with all my colorful ideas.
That's great. In a sense, did you always know that you were going to live the life that you're living right now, even when you were younger?
I didn't always know that because the ideas that I had in my head, when I talked to my mom about them, she says, oh, I don't know if that will work. Maybe you shouldn't do that. So I sort of played it safe in terms of career. I did marketing. But I always knew there was this creative person inside of me just screaming to come out. And one day I was at a trade show and I just said, you know what? I'm not doing this anymore. I am going to live my passion because I hadn't really been living, but I thought if I just make six figures, which when I moved to New York City, I was like, well, once I make six figures, that's going to be it. My life is going to be fabulous. So this job represented that. But once, I got that, I'm like, I'm not happy. So I really pursued like my creativity and my passion and really just what kind of lit me up like day in and day out.
So really, how have you taken your passion that got you to this place to a level that's different than a lot of people in our shoes, in your shoes?
Right. So what's really interesting is I really looked at what were some of the things that I dealt with in my life. And that was a big thing, being diagnosed with something. We all kind of go through things, and it's really how we deal with it. But I noticed during that time, I wasn't feeling really confident. My self-esteem was really low. The stories and the beliefs and the thoughts I was telling myself, I just kind of hid out. But what I said was, I've got to reignite that brilliance inside of me. It's in there. I just got to get rid of all the junk, the fear, the doubt, the comparison. I'm not good enough, because it's there. And that really fueled me to really help women do the same, because we all have the brilliance inside of us. It's just the stories that make us think we don't. So that what has really led me to where I am today.
What you were saying about, moving to the city, and then you're like, when I make six figures, that means that I'll have it all. I'll have no problems, no fear.
Mhm.
Um, what is your take on the whole income situation? Do you feel that when you have got to a certain place financially, that means that you're on the right track? Or how do you see that, and how does it blend together?
Well, money is a really interesting thing. I had to develop a really different relationship with abundance and money. And you think like, once I make it, then everything is going to be great. But I really do believe it's once you're really living your passion and you are really owning your brilliance and sharing your expertise in a way that's very different and very authentic, and you receive and experience abundance and success from that, like that is what really money is all about. Because it's really, money is what? It's freedom to allow you to do more for others.
Right.
Right.
Truth.
And to live comfortably and to enjoy life in a way that, feels great. And how cool is it to do something that you absolutely love and get paid really well for just being yourself?
I want to actually just continue on the financial topic for a minute, because I feel like you have some juicy answers for a lot of the listeners. Um, for example, say there are women out there that have, those belief systems
Mhm.
that kind of take over them, that are kind of crazy. Maybe it's something like, if I have money, somebody else doesn't have the money. Or
Mhm.
maybe it's, I don't deserve this, and what makes me deserve it opposed to other people. All those blocks and nasty beliefs, which I know that you work with all the time
Yeah.
with your coaching.
Mhm.
Regarding those financial beliefs, how can someone really kind of get through that? Or do you even have a real powerful statement for us to break through that barrier, to let people know that they can have it, they truly can have it all. And no matter if they're coming from a place of service, they're a good person, they should be able to have whatever they want.
Well, the whole thing about money, it's a great question. It's really interesting. So first we have to really figure out, what is that story that you keep believing about yourself that just really isn't real, about being worthy, or if I have it, someone else can't have it, or, I have to work hard if I'm going to make that kind of money. I feel like when you come from a sense of, I just get paid for being me. I get paid really well for being really authentic, owning my truth, sharing my gifts in an amazing, confident way. It really starts to energetically move your mindset in a very different place. And the things that you really desire, you bring into your life, because you're no longer blocking the money and the abundance and the success by all the stories you've been keeping a relationship with for way too long.
So you're transforming your mindset into thinking in your day to day, when I'm doing the dishes, I'm being paid for
Absolutely.
being me. When
Absolutely.
I am, just creatively cleaning my home, I'm being paid for being me, right? And
Right. Yes. And I mean, of course, there's so many things because you can be up one day and the next day you're like, huh, that's a really different experience, a different feeling. But the beauty is to not stay there, to have tools that allow you to, in that moment, change the pictures in your head that you see and change the words that you say.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And
Awesome.
in terms of a powerful statement, it sounds so simple, but really it's like, I get paid well for being me.
Simple as that.
Yeah,
Because everybody's different and everybody is giving the world something different. So,
absolutely. And how cool is it just to be yourself? I mean, and so many times we're looking at what other people are doing and thinking, maybe that's what I should do.
mm-hmm.
It's like, you wear a size 2, but you're putting on a size 12. It just doesn't fit because it's not you.
Or you're 12 putting on a 2. Like, so in the coaching world, right? I mean, there's so many people kind of all on top of each other, kind of doing the same thing,
Mhm,
kind of giving the same message, maybe a little bit different. Maybe you have a little bit of a different niche.
mhm,
Um, for women that are watching that are somehow in the coaching world or doing some kind of expertise in something online or offline, what kind of advice would you have for them to really live that statement themselves, right? Because I know that there are so many women out there that are really bombarded with, this is what you need to be doing now, this is what you need to look like in your photos, this is what, all of that kind of stuff that's just not helpful. So
mhm.
I just wanted to know your take on that.
Well, I'll tell you what I personally do. And no matter where you are in your business life, whether you're a beginner, you've been doing this for a while, you want to have a daily practice that can ground you in who you are.
Mm.
That means, what are the thoughts that you're thinking about yourself? Like a really cool exercise that I did for myself and then share with my other clients was that I had to write down, like, what are 3 brilliant things about myself? It's so easy to talk about others and how wonderful they are, but sometimes we don't see the good in ourselves, and we hold ourselves back from our potential because we don't see ourselves being different than where our circumstances are. So um, grounding myself means my meditation. It might mean prayer for you, but I need to be able to connect to something so that when stuff comes up, I'm not doubting who I am or doubting my word or even hearing my word. Because sometimes all the voices get so loud, you doubt your own abilities. You stop hearing your own voice because you've watched everybody else. So
Yeah.
it's like, okay, you know, listen, I've done it, I've been there. And when you do that, you just don't even see the own beauty in yourself. And if you want to connect with other people, you got to connect with you first.
I hear that for like, and that's such a big thing that holds so many women back, right? They're right away, they're wanting to kind of jump over that stepping stone, right? But that's the first stepping stone that they truly need to take.
Yeah, I was talking with a client today, and we were just talking about how powerful the mind is and that it can bring you closer to what you desire, or it will keep you from what you desire, but we make the choice. So as an entrepreneur, you know, we all talk about confidence, and there's a lot of guilt and shame around it because nobody really wants to say that they're not really confident all the time, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But allow yourself to appreciate the process of getting to where you want to be. It's so easy to just want that end goal. Like, I just want to make $125,000. But see the beauty in all the steps that it's taking to get you there. And mindset is the absolute number one thing. Yes, it's sales funnels and marketing and all that stuff. But your internal environment is what's going to keep you grounded long term.
In your experience, I'm sure you've had a lot of ups and downs, right? I'm sure you've had roller coasters of emotions.
Oh, all the time.
And I'm sure, even to date, you still, one day you're going to be like on top of the world, like I'm just doing amazing. And then the next day, you get triggered by something and then you're like, I think maybe I should quit. I don't, do you ever feel that, because there's so many women out there that are going through that every day?
Oh my goodness. So I'm going to just be seriously authentic and share with you. I was having one of those yesterday. And I was having a pity party, and I was taking that shovel and I was digging it deeper down into the rabbit hole. And I'm like, I have got to get out of this. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I really want to ground myself and do these things. But I have a little 9-year-old who's going to be running up the stairs any minute, charging through my door. But the one thing that I saw was that I have the ability to change how I'm feeling right now. And it was like I called out an SOS and 911 to myself, and I immediately ran and got a meditation that completely changed the vibration in my thoughts that quickly. And it was almost like the universe was saying, just keep walking, just keep walking your own talk. The same thing that you're sharing with your clients, just keep doing it for yourself. So, we go through that. And I think it's really important for us as women, not just entrepreneurs. Once the wall comes down, you see that we're more alike than we are different. And it really is about sharing. It's not about making it look like the pretty picture on Facebook and everything's fabulous all the time, because it isn't.
Mm-hmm.
But I just have the tools now so I don't stay stuck. Yeah.
Why do you think it is so, in a sense, when we have that pity party, when we're kind of like feeling good and feeling bad, feeling bad, why we like to stay there? Is it really, for you, do you think it is just because it's that safe zone where you're like, I'm safe, I feel really crappy, like I don't want to do anything, I want to quit, but
your subconscious mind is like, oh, you and I are best friends, don't leave me. I love this. I love these feelings. And although you may feel like crap, it's so familiar.
Mm-hmm.
So, one person that I really love is Marissa Peer. She's I just lost my train of thought. She does meditation, but hypnotherapist in England. And she says it's about making the familiar unfamiliar.
Mm-hmm.
But what's familiar is the doubts and the stories and the belief and the comparison, and I'm not good enough. And, maybe once I get a gorgeous website, then I can do this. Or maybe once I lose 10 pounds, then I'll be able to put myself out there and be visible. Mm-hmm. But it's like, no, the beauty lies outside of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, let's just get way more comfortable with being uncomfortable.
So what has been your greatest achievement in having that kind of self-mastery, in a sense, to the point where you've got to the ease and flow in your life?
It's interesting. I would say probably the greatest achievement is really just deciding to leave the comforts of a full-time job that at the time was paying me 6 figures. And when I started, I wasn't making 6 figures when I started in my coaching business. So having that courage to just believe in myself, no matter what anybody else was saying or what it looked like, that was probably my greatest achievement, to now being able to do what I love and help women and help them kind of transform not just their business, but their life, and for them to authentically show up and own that brilliance and put themselves out there. Like, that just makes my heart sing when I think about my clients, because where they are, I remember those days.
Who is your ideal client? So there's a lot of women out here that are like, ooh, maybe Tracy is the one that I should be working with, so who is your just soulmate client?
Right. So the clients I work with are female entrepreneurs. Many of them are coaches. They desire so much more in their life and their business, and they feel like they have been taking every program, signing up for every course, and nothing's changing. And they're wondering, like, what needs to change for me to make some money? So I really help them to really just discover that brilliance that's inside of them so that they really can experience more love and authenticity and joy in their business, and ultimately attract clients that they love working with and make money doing it.
Because people think that abundance and money come from a lack mindset, but truthfully, it comes from a self-worth mindset, doesn't it?
Oh, we could be on this computer all day long talking about self-worth, because I think as women, we naturally nurture everybody else. But then when it comes time for us, it's like our tank is empty. We don't do enough of that. So yeah, it's really, really important to, you have to have your own, you got to do your own self-love. You got to love you before anyone else can love you. And you got to connect with you before anybody else can connect with you. And, energy is a really big thing. And I know it's the thing that everyone's talking about, but how you show up every single day is what you're going to receive back every day. And it's a work in progress. It doesn't mean that I've arrived and so now I'm here. It's like, you know what? I'm on a path. And I keep getting stronger and more confident. I keep showing up happier and more joyful. And I know that any abundance that I receive is really just about me blessing others with it.
Receiving is such a big thing too, right? Because I know over the years I found that I've had issues with receiving, because I've always been the one to be like, no, I'll take care of that. I'll do this for you. Like, no, let me grab lunch, like all that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
And you get so in the norm with that it actually does flow over into other things in your life, right? So you might be maybe in a career or something like that where you're like, I'm not, making a lot of money in this, or I'm doing my soul's work, but you just have that kind of X on receiving in autopilot, right? So it makes it tricky.
Yeah, well, we got to look at, like, where did that come from? Like, where did that start? What words were put into your mind? And so you believed it. And so you've kind of been acting out those beliefs your whole life, but you don't even know you're doing it. So receiving, being worthy and receiving hits some women so deep. It's so painful because they don't even know that they're not, like, they're like, I want to make money. I want to receive. It's like, well, do you really? Do you really want to? Like, what do you really think about yourself? Do you really feel worthy as a human being? Absolutely. Everyone has a brilliance inside of them, but we got to figure out, what are those stories? Let's create a new story so that you see yourself differently, so that you have a different, beautiful experience. And listen, where I am today is not where I've always been. Trust me. When I looked in the mirror after my surgery, I was at my lowest and I didn't feel worthy to go out in public. I wondered if I'd ever get married and have children, and all these stories I kept telling myself. But I'm like, I don't want to feel like this, So you just have to, it's like anything. You just learn new ways to be so that you can experience life differently.
How have you been able to take the route of being creative opposed to competitive when it comes to your personal soul business? And, how has competition really affected you over the years?
Oh boy, let me just take a deep breath. So competition it's really interesting, especially in this online world. I think when I didn't value myself, it was really easy for me to compare myself to others. It was like, obviously who I was and what I was doing was not enough. So let me just look at what they're doing. And then what it does is it makes you feel like what you have to offer isn't enough. And that will not get you anywhere. And I understand that those are beliefs and thoughts. So you have to every day actively work on your mindset, I say this to my 9-year-old, like, the thoughts you think, Connor, are going to manifest in your life. Words are powerful, but it's not just words, it's the pictures. It's like, you got to see yourself differently. You got to already know that you are a child of God, a child of the universe, and know that you are loved, and see yourself bigger than your current circumstances. Because you can't let what's happening now dictate to what your life is going to be like. Because if, you know what I mean?
It's wonderful that you are teaching your child that now, because
Yeah.
I mean, for me, growing up when I was younger, I was told think positive, but that was how where it ended, right? It didn't go
Mhm.
any deeper than that. So, you know, this generation of young kids with their parents teaching them that is
Yeah.
is quite an amazing thing, right? I mean, I'm sure you go in even deeper with your child and get into all this crazy talk, and he's just like, "What are you talking?"
Oh, he completely zones out. But you know, I always tell him, believe in your, because being book smart is important. I get that. But my whole thing is I want you to feel confident about who you are. I want you to have great self-esteem, because then you just don't fall for stuff. You know what I mean? You're not chasing the shiny object or being with the popular person. So yeah, I remember when I was young, my mother was into personal development books when I didn't even know what they were.
Mhm.
So it's always been a part of my life, but sometimes your circumstances make you forget.
Totally. I hear you there. What would you suggest to entrepreneurs or even future female entrepreneurs that are wanting to, just make a change in their life, get away from their 9 to 5, whatever it is they want to do?
Mhm.
What would you suggest to them has been a really good method for you that you could help them find their soul's true calling?
I think you want to get out a piece of paper, and an actual piece of paper, not like on a computer, and you want to start writing things that you love about yourself. Some people will say, "Oh, I can't find anything to love about myself." Just find three things about yourself. And with those three things, create your I am statements. And you say them every day. You say them, you write them, and you speak them every day, because you've got to change what's going on in the subconscious mind so that you can move into action and really start believing, like, you know what, I can have a business and I can do what I love and make money. It doesn't just have to be a business coach or whatever. Like, I can do what I absolutely love, and people will be so interested in becoming a client or buying my product or buying into my service. But you've got to change the frequency, the vibration. So you got to change your thoughts. You got to change your words. And it's a very simple tool, just writing it down. But when you write it, you speak it and you say it and you do it every day for at least 10 days. It's like you see yourself in a very different way. And you believe that, you know what? I can take action on my desires. I can have a business that I absolutely love, and I can make money from it, and I can have the freedom to live the life that I really desire.
Do you have a very scheduled day to day? I was actually in another view talking to the confidence coach, Lisa Marie Pepe,
Yeah.
and we always laugh because she is so regimented. Like she doesn't like she's at 6:20 she's up, 6:30 she's eating breakfast, whatever. Like it's just like, and a lot of people aren't like that. I was just wondering with you and just your statements that you say and things like that, do you have a very scheduled day in that sense?
I have a day that's scheduled. However, things come up and I don't freak out about it. I have a 9-year, I'm a mom, you know what I mean? So in the morning time, before my son gets up, I do my meditation to ground myself. My neighbors probably think I'm so weird because I go outside in my bare feet, even though it's ice cold out there, on the ground, and ground myself just so I can start my day
Mm-hmm. Not
with
just roll over and get your phone, right?
well, I've done that too. So I'm just saying, like, it doesn't always happen like that, but that's really my schedule. I just bought this beautiful journal. I'm very visual, so I love stuff that's very colorful. I got a beautiful new journal and planners. And, I'm noticing now that as you get busier with more clients, it really does help you to schedule things. And not just like seeing your clients, but, oh, I love your cat, just got it. And I love that. That's how life is, right? Like, you think it's going to turn out one way, but something comes in and, brings a little creativity to it. So writing things down is very, very important. I write down, I schedule everything. Do I always keep to it? No. But if I don't write it down, it's not happening. Like, I can't just say I want to do it and it's going to stay up in my head, because I'll probably forget. So but you got to give yourself a little bit of grace too. You know, I remember I was just such a type personality. I had to do it this way. And then, you know, when it didn't happen, I was beating myself up. So you have to forgive yourself.
Tracy.
Your cat's like, I'm going to mix it up a little bit. I love that. That's just how energy is. And I love the flow. It's beautiful. But, you know, start writing things down and put everything in just try it for 2 days, put everything in the calendar. When you exercise.
It just shows that, you know, life doesn't work out the way. You got to roll with the punches.
And you have to have a sense of humor. Oh my goodness. I mean, the things I've dealt with in my life, if I didn't have a sense of humor about it, I'd be crawled up in a ball somewhere, you know, and that's just life. The more that you have tools that can get you out of that place where you're feeling stuck or afraid or doubting yourself or not believing that you have what it takes, you know, reach out to someone, whether it be a coach, whether it be a friend, spouse, someone, you know, because it's easy to keep doing the same things and you really keep believing that it's okay, right? But then you look around and you're like, why is it my life isn't changing? Why is it everyone else is making money but me? And it's like, well, you know, do you really want this? Are you willing to be a little uncomfortable?
So you actually have created something called the magnetically brilliance strategy.
Brilliant strategy session. Mm-hmm.
And you're actually giving that to all of the viewers.
Yes.
Which will be an amazing addition to anybody's life, I'm sure. So that all that information will actually be right by Tracy's bio. And if you'd like to get a hold of...
You know we're in Mercury retrograde, right? It's all good.
I gotta say, this cat of mine, every time I'm on a Skype call, every time, like, she will be sleeping somewhere and she will show up and she will cry to go outside. She will, whatever. I love her dearly, but like...
Can I tell you, I wish we would have had a picture of that look just now. It was hilarious.
I'll do that in the freeze frame. Oh my gosh. So anybody, if you'd like to get a hold of Tracy, she's obviously a very fun, very, very, I would love to say you're just so normal. You're just so, people can definitely connect with you, right?
Yeah.
One of your wonderful aspects, right? And I think that if anybody is really wanting to find that true brilliance within themselves, really wanting to just get out of the day-to-day thought pattern too, Tracy is your lady. And you also do a lot of belief work with people, right? That's one of your main things.
Absolutely. I do belief work. I do energy work. I do a lot of different modalities, you know, because no two people are the same. So I intuitively like to feel into, you know, I hear someone's story, but I'm like, what's really going on? What's under all those layers? I hear what you're saying. And so I'm really here to just empower women because I don't want to see another woman just continue to look at her life and wish things were different, but not take action, or look at someone else's business and wish that was hers and feel sad. So, you know, I'm here to shine the light on every woman, you know?
That's amazing. Thank you so much for being on with us today. I know that people took out a lot of different nuggets and things like that out of our chat. And I have one more question to ask you, though. What is it that makes you wild, creative, and confident?
Oh, gosh. You know, I'm quirky. I'm quirky and I love it. And for so long, I didn't own that. I love so many different, things. And I really embrace that about me. You know, I really honor that about me. And I own it. And I'm just myself. And, you know, and I love that. And I love that because for so long I wasn't. So it's like, just be yourself. You know, I know it sounds like, okay, that sounds great. But you got to own who you are, your true essence, your true brilliance. And really that's what, you know, my quirkiness is me.
That's great. And I love that you're just so open and transparent with, you know, we're like real people. Like, you know, not everything is, you know, photos in front of Lexuses, right? I mean, like, you know.
and I know we're out of time, but I just want to say one thing because I feel like there's a woman who's going to be hearing this who really needs to hear this. You know, sometimes people will look at my photos on Facebook or, you know, I've done many, many photo shoots and they say, oh, it's easy for her. Or they just look at the picture. Can I just share with everyone? I'm more comfortable being alone than anywhere else. I am a serious introvert. However, I have such a desire to get out there and help more women. So I don't let the fear of being in front of a video or being in front of a camera stop me from just really living out my passion.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that. I think it's so, people are so concerned about how they look online, right? And we have to know, online is it's only 10% of, what we're doing. Like it's not who we are. It's not, we don't always look like that every day or whatever, right?
Oh, no. Yeah. And however you look is, it's just so funny even doing the video because I was literally shaking. I mean, my photographer was cracking up because I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so uncomfortable. But you can't look at the photos and the stories and start doubting who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Can't do that. You got to believe in you no matter what.
Well, thank you for being on. Thanks for rolling with the punches and our our extra guest that we had. I'm a big animal lover, so like I can't get too mad, but she's gonna I'll have a talking with her.
I'm gonna talk to you when I get off. Yeah.
Thank you so much, and everybody, I hope that you definitely get a chance to watch Tracy's video on her website. It's a great inspirational video, and go through her website, learn all about her and how you could possibly work with her in the future, and definitely take action on her free gift that will be near her bio. And your website, Tracy.
Yeah, it's Tracy Neely. Yep, TracyNeely.com, TracyNeely.com.
Perfect. Thank
or
you.
You can find me on Facebook. Thank you.
Oh yeah, do you have a private Facebook page too, or a group that anybody should know about?
Not yet. I'm creating a new one, but
Okay.
they can find my it's just under Tracy Neely, my business page. I have a lot of inspiration and it's where I share a lot of tips to help you get to from where you are to really where you desire to be.
I love your images actually that you post. They're fun and hip and they're just to the point and they're very attractive actually. So just to let you know. And you're a very beautiful, attractive lady. So, you shine inside and out. So thank you so much for being on.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Thank you, everybody. Talk to you later.